Let's go to the East, where I think things are going to get fucking bananas. Okay, this is going to be the bracket that just goes completely insane. There's always one region that goes completely insane, and I think this is going to be the region that goes completely insane. I'm going to take the lead on this one. I'm going to tell you the upsets that I have. I'm pulling a TO. I am doing more than one. Okay, you guys ready for this? I have one, UNC beating Marquette in the first round and beating Baylor to get to the Sweet 16.
Wow.
I have that too.
I have Indiana knocking off Wyoming, knocking off St. Mary's, and getting to the second round of the NCAA tournament. I have Virginia Tech beating Chris Beard and the Fighting Longhorns, getting to the second round, taking on Purdue, taking down Purdue, and beating the Boilermakers and getting to the Sweet 16.
Wow.
So those are the three upsets that I have. I will have in my Sweet 16, 11 seed Virginia Tech, 8 seed UNC, and I will have 12 seed Indiana getting to the second round of the NCAA tournament. What you got, guys? What do we got here? T.O., give me some upsets.
I got Carolina over Baylor. Carolina getting all the way to the Elite Eight, as much as it pains me to say. And then I got Indiana making the Sweet 16, playing North Carolina. Virginia Tech making the Sweet 16, beating Texas, then beating Purdue, because I just feel like if those guys shoot the ball anything like they shot it against Duke, like, who beats them? I sure don't know. And then after that, Murray State, I got winning, playing Kentucky in the second. Kentucky, I've got finishing all the way through. But there's so many good games in this one. This Marquette team, though, that's playing Carolina in round one, that's the kind of team that's beat the brakes off of Carolina. Just tough as nails. They're going to get up. They're going to guard you. They're going to push you out. They're going to have size on the interior to mess with Baycott. Baycott might have 20 and 20, but they might still get beat by 20. So it's like one of those things, like, because Marquette's so tough-minded, that's a team that could give North Carolina credit, or give them credit, give them a hard time.
Yep, I agree. I do kind of feel like Fanta, I'm buying in a little too much in the hype with North Carolina for beating Duke. But what I will say is this: they have the highest upside, I think, out of any of the teams on the 8-9 seed line, with the exception of maybe Memphis. But Memphis, again, they don't really have great point guard play. UNC does; they fit the mold. They have R.J. Davis and Caleb Love. You could give them 2 point guards. But here's what I'll say: given Baylor's depth issues and injury issues, and the fact that I don't think L.J. Cryer is going to be, if he does play, which I think is probably very iffy at this point, I don't think he's going to be anywhere near 100%. Whoever wins that UNC Marquette game, I think, takes down Baylor in the second round of the tournament. What do you have for upsets?
I disagree on the UNC Marquette angle. I like Baylor to make the Sweet 16. I think that the upset of this region is going to be UCLA eventually making it back to, beating Baylor. I like UCLA over Baylor. I really do. I think UCLA's draw is good, because even though Indiana's going to be a trendy pick, and even though they're playing well, I like the fact that UCLA gets Akron all the way out west. I don't trust St. Mary's enough to take them if St. Mary's were to win. And I like UCLA the way that they match up with Indiana. I think it's actually a good draw for UCLA. And I think the experience factor kicks in. So I know you call them the bracket of chaos. We do a podcast to have differing views. I'm not seeing as much chaos, and maybe it's because I'm not going bold enough. I could see the Murray State San Francisco winner shocking Kentucky, and it would be a shock to everybody. But sometimes in this tournament, the shocking of all shocking things happens. I love Kentucky, and I'm actually probably going to pencil them into my Final Four. But I actually think that Kentucky could have a harder time in their second round game than they would in their Sweet 16 game. I think that, because I look at the 4 teams, look at it: Texas, Virginia Tech, Purdue, and Yale. None of those teams, to me, says that scares Kentucky. I love the makeup of the Murray State Racers. And guys, do you realize how big of a game that would be for Murray State and their fans? And if they get a chance, to play Kentucky, that would just be such an amazing opportunity for that program if they're able to beat San Francisco. And I like the Dons, and I have all year. And I think sometimes when you get to the NCAA tournament, it allows you to hit the reset button. At the end of the day, both Murray State and San Francisco are what? Ken Palm top 30? I'm correct in stating that? out of the second round draws that teams have gotten, Kentucky actually got a difficult second round draw when you look at the metrics.
Yeah, I think that the matchup with Murray State would be difficult because Murray State has two really, really, really good guards in Juice Hill and Tevin Brown.
Yes.
And they got a big guy inside that can kind of do a little bit of work against Sheway. He can step on the perimeter. They are built in a similar manner to what Arkansas is. Not quite as tough, but their team build and their roster build is similar to Arkansas. And we saw Arkansas beat.
It gives me heavy Illinois Loyola Chicago vibes from last year.
Yes, it does, Terrence. That's a great point.
Like that small team that's still really, really good. That's not getting the same recognition. Still struggling to kind of get people in that state to jump over. But they're not going to, obviously, because it's Kentucky. But it kind of gives me the same like feel.
Yeah.
I can see that a little bit. I think Kentucky's too good to be able to get picked off in that second round game.
I don't like Virginia Tech in the first round. I like Texas. I think it's really hard to win your conference tournament, ride that high into the NCAAs. So I do like the Longhorns. I'm going against the grain there.
I don't buy. I think I'm not buying Texas, and you're probably right, and I'm probably just buying into the hype and recency bias and all that. All right, who is the player to watch in this region? Fanta, I'll go to you first on this one.
Jaime Jaquez. Because if Jaime Jaquez is playing at an elite level, I'll trust UCLA with my life. I will. Even though they lost the Pac-12 championship game, they lost it to a 1 seed in Arizona who's playing outstanding basketball. I look at UCLA. Guys, we've seen this so many times in the NCAA tournament, okay? You go through the years with players and teams. A team that gets to the big dance floor, knows what it takes to win in that position, and then gets back to their mojo. And so for me, here's what I think. UCLA on their best day is even better than a 4 seed. On their best day, when they're playing their best basketball, they're that good.
Yep.
So for me, I like the way that they draw. At the end of the day, guys, they didn't draw a power conference opponent potentially in their second round game. And that's no disrespect, but it's the truth. Out of the 5 seeds, UCLA is playing St. Mary's. I like St. Mary's. I don't know if I love them against UCLA.
Are they, though? Are they going to play St. Mary's?
Exactly.
Are they playing St. Mary's? They're going to be playing Indiana.
Okay. So
Indiana might be a mid-major too, though. At this point.
Well, I just think I'm going to go with Jaime and Johnny Juzang. I mean, Rob, you said it yourself earlier in the season. Jaime Jaquez, is at his best, All-American material, might be their best player. So I'm going to stick with the Bruins here, and I'll go with Jaime.
Player to watch for me plays at Indiana, and everybody knows who Trace Jackson Davis is, but it's Xavier Johnson. His name is Xavier. His name is Xavier Johnson, correct? So Xavier Johnson, that's a guy to watch because when he plays well, Indiana is really, really good. He's the X factor for them. They've got kind of pieces everywhere. They've got their main guy in TJD, but Xavier Johnson is the guy that runs that ship. And when he's really, really good, Indiana's really, really good. So moving forward, I like that one. Are we going just individual matchups right now, or are we going team matchups?
No, just we're just doing players.
Okay.
So the player for me to watch is Jaden Ivey. I think he is the X factor in this tournament. I think that when he goes supernova, when he goes nuts, Purdue takes another level offensively. And when Purdue is at their best offensively, look, with all of the issues that they have on the defensive end of the floor, they are still a team that can put up 100 on anybody. And if they put up 100 on you, you're probably not going to beat them.
Yep.
And I think so. Jaden Ivey, that's the guy that I'll be watching. Look, we know there are issues with point guard play. We know how important Sasha Stefanovic is to that team. We know how much they struggle guarding ball screens and how much they struggle when Zach Edey is kind of forced to play on the perimeter. But that can all be nullified if Jaden Ivey goes nuts. So to me, Jaden Ivey is the one to keep an eye on. All right, what is the matchup that you're watching for, T.O., and then give me your Sweet 16 Final Four and who makes it out of that region?
There are so many good games in the first round for this bracket. North Carolina Marquette's going to be terrific. UCLA and Akron's an interesting one for me because those coaches coach very similar to each other. Mick Cronin and John Groce, those two tough-minded guys. Let their guys go a little bit on offense, but those guys are high level. I think that's going to be a better game than people realize. And then Murray State and San Francisco, I found it weird that you went mid-major, in a 7-10, typically because they like to spread out those mid-majors a little bit. But that's going to be a great matchup. I think the winner of, if we were able to get a Purdue-Kentucky, now I don't have that picked, but a Purdue-Kentucky matchup would be really, really intriguing from a matchup standpoint. With Purdue's bigs, with Zach Edey, Travion Williams, and they could just throw waves at Oscar Tshiebwe. How would Tshiebwe play against somebody with that much size and Zach Edey? We saw what Zach Edey did to Kofi Coburn in Illinois. We saw what happened there. Would he be able to do the same thing against Oscar Tshiebwe? That would be a great matchup. I don't have that happening, but I think it very well could happen. But there's just so many good games in this region.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Indiana to meet UCLA. I do think that would be really fun, and, man, TV would be rooting for that too. The rating on that would be absurd. And then could you imagine if we get North Carolina, UCLA? Could you imagine that? This is the region of big brands. And then, look, because I got UCLA going far, I like Kentucky to meet UCLA here. I like Kentucky to come out in this region. But I'm going back to the Bruins. Well, we'll see if I'm right or wrong. It's the beauty of this tournament, but I like Kentucky here. I think this sets up well for Kentucky at the end of the day. You know why? They get to the Sweet 16 weekend. I don't trust any of the 4 teams that they could meet. I'd pick Kentucky over Purdue. I don't think Texas or Virginia Tech could beat them. And if Baylor goes down, like, man, I feel weird being out on Baylor, but the injuries are obviously big, and it's a team that I don't know about offensively. So I'm going to go with Kentucky to win the East region.
Yeah, I have Kentucky coming out of the East. I have UNC, UCLA, Virginia Tech, and Kentucky in the Sweet 16, and then Kentucky beating UCLA to get to the Final Four. All right, guys, let's get to our Final Four picks, our national championship picks. I will go first. I have Gonzaga, Kentucky, Villanova, and Auburn in my Final Four. I have Villanova beating Auburn, and I have Kentucky beating Gonzaga, with Kentucky winning the national title, cutting down the nets in Coach K's final season. T.O., what do you got?
I never said my Sweet 16, I don't think, of the way, but it doesn't matter.
Bad. Yeah, I cut you off.
But that's okay. That's okay. I have, just to rehash on that, I have Carolina, Indiana, Virginia Tech, and Kentucky, with North Carolina and Kentucky winning and matching up in the Elite Eight. And then I have Kentucky advancing to the Final Four. My Final Four picks are Texas Tech, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Kansas, with Kentucky beating Kansas in the championship game.
That will be a wild Final Four. If we can get Kentucky fans, Texas Tech fans, Tennessee fans, and Kansas, you're just rooting for insanity.
Basically, my whole philosophy on this bracket was, what would make New Orleans the most fun, and it would be Texas Tech, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Kansas.
All right, I've got Gonzaga. I'm going to match Terrence, and I'm going to go with Tennessee. I just love the way the Volunteers are playing. Come on, Vols. Do not let me down, because I'm trusting you here. I like the way that they've evolved offensively. I love JJJ's game, and I think that Kendi Chandler is going to have a big tournament. Okay. Wisconsin is making the Final Four. There, I'm giving the Big Ten love, and I think Johnny Davis is the guy. It's that dude. I'm bought in. And then finally, I've got... We're all on it, which makes me feel a little bit weird. But I'm going to take Kentucky as well. I like Gonzaga to beat Kentucky. And I like, man, I'm back and forth right now. I'm really stuck on this one. I'm going to go with Wisconsin to make it to the championship game. I cannot believe those words are coming out of my mouth. I'm going all in on the Badgers. Gonzaga gets there first. Gonzaga's winning the national championship.
That would be huge.
You can tell how much Fanta prep for this show when he's making all the decisions on the fly.
Did you not do a bracket? Do you have like a computerized bracket, Fanta?
I haven't completed the whole thing yet. So, but that's what I've got right now. It'll change by Thursday morning.
All right.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Go. Tio, did you run through your Final Four picks?
I had trouble picking the Wisconsin-Tennessee game. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're good. I did remember the fan bases. Tennessee, Kentucky,
but no,
Texas Tech.
Who do you have winning it?
I have Kansas and Kentucky in the finals, and then Kentucky winning it.
Kentucky. All right. Me and you on those Wildcats, baby. Listen, yep. I cannot wait for this tournament to start. For people that are still here, remember, T.O. and I are going to be joined by Randolph Childress at the Rivers Casino in Philadelphia on Thursday and Friday. We're going to be doing live shows all day from the sports book at the Rivers Casino. That is, of course, a Bet Rivers property. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be watching the games, putting down some wagers. I can promise you I will be putting down some wagers on games, probably on the craps table as well. T.O., I don't know if you're a craps guy, but it's a little bit of fun. So we'll make it work. We're going to have a good time. Listen, we're going to come back to you guys again next Monday. The field is going to be down to 16 teams by the time that you hear from us next. So for John Fanta, for Terrence Oglesby, my name is Rob Dawson. This has been the DTF Podcast.